It's the college.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the show. We moved to Thursdays. We used to do them on Wednesdays, but now we're going to be doing them on Thursdays. It's episode 409, and today's March 14th, 2024. Holy goodness. Seems just like yesterday the world shut down. But that was 4 years ago, really, almost to this day. Pretty wild. Excited for today's show. We got a big guest on. Everybody knows who he is. He's a hammer. And the subject of one of our newest films, Spencer Lee, three-time national champion from Austin? No, from Iowa. Austin's his buddy. Yeah. We're in Austin here. It's confusing. But Spencer Lee, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bader. How you been doing?
I'm great. I've been seeing you a bunch lately, so it's good to kind of get here and catch up with you. Man, I guess I want to start with the film. I want to talk about a few things, but this film came out yesterday. Spencer and Austin, Wrestletown, USA. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
What did you think?
It was good.
Anything you liked about it? Anything that was off about it that could have been different?
No, I thought it was well done. Honestly, when you guys like came to Iowa, I thought you guys didn't get enough stuff. I was worried you weren't gonna be able to make a film out of what you guys did, just because I didn't know what you guys were trying to make of it,
Yeah.
But you guys obviously had plenty. I mean, then obviously we sent you guys stuff too, so it was pretty cool seeing. For me, it made me laugh. I knew Austin growing up. I had seen him when I told that video of me when I said I was at the camp in Philly. I saw him, but we weren't super young then. We were probably junior high.
Yeah.
He was a lot smaller than junior high than me. I think he was 80 pounds junior high. So and I was 105, 107. I think my weight class was in 7th grade. So, I mean, I was a lot bigger than him, but it was cool seeing his little self wrestle,
Yeah. The wild thing, too, is, obviously Flow's changed and evolved. But back then, we just used anywhere that would let us in the door, we'd go film, we would commentate, and, be really into it. So, I think that's Joe Williamson, holding the camera and filming and announcing. And he's, announcing this 8-year-old's match, just happened to be, a guy who turns into a big name, and pretty wild that it came full circle like that. And obviously, you mentioned you've known Austin for a long time. Did you see, and what I'm getting at is how aggressive he is, and he's just we know that he just marches forward. Did you notice that when he was a little kid, or was it not till you guys got into high school and started competing against each other?
He was always kind of like that. When he was younger, he would sit back on his heels and stand there. He'd have his hands out kind of like this, but he'd be almost in a squat, and then he would just run at you like that. He would so that's how he wrestled, and he would head down like this. He would reach, he would grab, and then he would do his same wrestling. So it was always funny because he would right when you blow the whistle, he would always run almost to the edge, get down his literally in a squat position, and then when you came at him, then he would run at you. That's kind of how he wrestled. So he was even like that in high school a little bit. When my teammate Devin Brown wrestled him in the state semis, he did that every time they shook hands, he would back up. So actually Devin ended up winning the match because of stall calls, because he would back up, but he wasn't really stalling. That's just how he wrestled. He would just run to the edge, and then he would run at you, head down, grab you like that. So it's kind of funny. how he like evolved. Now instead of going backwards, he just there always goes forward.
It's like almost like he's like one of those little toy cars where you like pull it backwards,
You
right,
wind him up,
to
then
wind it up, and then he shoots forward across the mat.
yep,
That's cool.
that's how he was.
You guys never wrestled growing up until like the
I was too big.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been the same height since I was like 10. You know, so
Me
like
too.
I was a bigger kid growing up, and Austin in 7th, 8th grade. I don't even know if he broke 100 pounds. His freshman year of high school, he wrestled 113, but he only weighed like 100 pounds. His teammate, I guess, could beat him for some reason. Maybe he knew him. He wasn't better than Austin, but it just so happened how it happened because he was in my weight class my freshman year of high school. He didn't qualify for the state tournament, so
Oh,
he was
wow.
just so little. He was just so little, man. I mean, he was like I don't even know if he broke 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So it was different. I would see him because he would wrestle Teasdale. He would wrestle Gavin at the state tournament growing up because Gavin was also small. So
Uh-huh.
when we were in 7th and 8th grade, Gavin and him were always like 88 pounds. I was like the biggest. I was like the lightest weight there was
Yeah.
for like the 13 to 14 division was 88, and that's what they would wrestle. So they'd always scrap. But I was at 107, 112, in 7th and 8th grade. So like, I was 30 pounds bigger than them. So I never wrestled with either of them really. I always watched them though, so I knew of him.
Yeah.
So
One of the things this film does, it's about the two of you in a relationship, and it's about both of you overcoming things, right? You overcame obviously a lot of injuries and physical things. Austin overcame some emotional control issues or whatever you want to call them, right? And I think it's kind of really well laid out in the story. Did you ever notice? He would get animated. Might be a nice way to say it, right? Did you ever see that of him growing up? That this guy was maybe out of pocket at times.
I mean, yeah, I mean that was a way people would like try and beat him. Like they would just try and frustrate him. Like I remember Gavin, his strategy was basically like get down in a stance and like basically headbutt him. You know, just like go for like a double leg. Not like headbutt him, but like blast double him because he would sit like this, like on his knees, so you could like you'd shoot, you would basically hit him in the face or the sternum. You want to like almost like make him mad because then he would just run at you, just like no without any control. And Gavin was like a little ankle biter. He would blast you when you'd run at him. So that was like kind of how he would beat Austin was he would just kind of mind game him. He'd pop him in the face, pop him, and then he would like blast, hit him, and then Austin would get mad, run at him, and then he would blast. So like it was honestly cool seeing like Austin like evolve like into like not letting things bother him as much. I mean, people did that in college too. You know, for
Yeah.
sure. Like, pop him in the face a few times, like try and get him mad.
Sure. Was there ever a
Sure.
moment, probably in college, and maybe there is, maybe there isn't, when you were like, you saw him overcome some of that, and maybe somebody popped him or smacked him or punched him, and he just didn't, or maybe it's even them in in the senior level career, but where you were like, hey, in the past that would have set Austin off, and he didn't let it happen.
I mean, definitely senior level. I mean, I've seen him like kind of almost get like hit by a guy, like they swing at him because like they don't like him grabbing his arm.
Who would?
I mean, no one does, but like
Yeah.
foreigners, it's probably just a unique thing. Have someone run at you the whole time while grabbing your arm. 'Cause I remember one guy was like smacked Austin, and, like grabbed his arm, looked at the ref, and all Austin did was just run back to the middle and like stay in his stance. Like he wouldn't have been like this, maybe in the past. So just like learning to know that like whatever happens, happens. You just kind of do your thing, not focus on it, not let things get to you. When you're frustrated or your wrestling's gonna go downhill. You gotta be focused and zoned in. So
Definitely. And I think I remember that was an international tournament. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I do remember that. And the guy was like, it's like doing this, and it's like, what? You're upset because
he was shoving Austin.
Yeah.
He was only the ref.
Yeah.
Austin just like would get hit and then just stand there. Like
I remember thinking the same thing. I'm like, this is a new Austin DeSanto, because in the past this guy would lash out. So it was exciting to see kind of the progress he'd made there.
absolutely.
Okay, and another thing you mentioned in the film was like well, you know about your ACLs or lack thereof. But you were like, I had to learn how to wrestle without an ACL or learn how to wrestle without ACLs, plural. Can you just like go a little deeper into that and explain to me some of the positions and how you learned, like, all right, I got to stay out of this. I can go here, but I can't go here. And like how you learned to wrestle with that hindrance.
I mean, I think like the worst position would be like a single leg like picked up in the air. That was the worst because like you're hopping on one of the legs, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Plus the other knee that's like in the air, like you want to like whizzer down and like almost like do like a whizzer like boner leg, trick knee, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. That would hurt too, especially and then like spiking on the mat would hurt, like hitting the mat would hurt. So like that was like the worst position for sure. Because like if I wanted to go to a split and they like put pressure on my leg and it pushed down like that, then my knee would bend like that. That would hurt my knee too because then I'd have my ACL. So like it would stretch, So like being in like a single leg position where I was comfortable usually was very frustrating because like I wanted to like split out, like turn down, get to a wizard, but then they pick me up and I'm hopping. Every time you hop, like with a torn ACL, depending on how your ACL is, everyone's different. Um, every step you hop, you don't know whether your knee is gonna buckle. And like so that was the worst thing, like to be because you had to like for me like I would almost have to like literally bend as low as I could so that when I would hop, it would be like the shortest hop in the world. Because if
Yeah.
you're like hopping like high, like every second time you hit, like if your knee buckles, you're just gonna get taken down. So I would try and get super low and just immediately go to like a wizard and try and just sprawl my leg back. So that was really frustrating. I remember I think it was the quarters of the national tournament. I got taken down twice in that like position, where like I literally just could not defend myself. Like to me, like you see me just like turn down. Like I just like to me it was like it wasn't worth it. Like we were like in a scramble and he was like turning and bending my knee. I just like turned down. Like Terry was telling me like, hey, just turn down. I could hear him telling me to turn down. Like there wasn't worth it. Because like if I tear other stuff in my knee, then like I was for sure done. Like I was in trouble. Like having just ACL tears is manageable. I know that sounds ridiculous, but when you tear other things is when everything else in your knee starts to tear, and then all of a sudden you're unable to do anything. So
Was that like an overall concern? Like you got these bum or no ACLs, and but like the whole time you constantly have to be cognizant of like, hey, don't screw anything else up. As in, don't tear anything else on my knee, and be really careful about the positions. Jump as short as you can, and whatever else.
yeah, but you learn that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Those are things that I had to like learn. Like I had to wrestle more to do, which is frustrating because the more you wrestle, like then your knee could swell, and then if your knee's swollen, you can't wrestle. So like it was like you had to like learn those positions like where you can't be. So it was definitely hard. Like I mean, I don't know. Personally, like I definitely like had I torn other stuff in my knee, I definitely would have not finished it. Like I would have had to have surgery. Like that was like a promise I made with like the doctors kind of thing. You know, because like they said, once you tear one thing, like everything else is gonna go, and then you're risking like almost permanent injuries in your knee for when you're older. So it was all about. I mean, like I said, we had the best staff, best medical team. They knew, they were understanding. They were obviously like they would laugh because like I was pretty good at coping with the ACL tear, and I never tore anything else. So like it was almost like a miracle, really, having at least one ACL torn over 5 out of my 6 years in college, and not tearing anything else but my ACL. So definitely
God,
crazy.
when you say it like that, at least one ACL torn 5 out of the 6 years. That's
Yeah.
bananas. That's
Well, my,
insane.
my freshman year was the only year I didn't have a torn ACL. My freshman year, but I was coming off of ACL surgery, so I didn't wrestle in the season until January. So
It's
I had a
insane.
big brace on.
Yeah.
I took it off for the national tournament, but then I took that summer off to try and heal and recuperate, and then that I didn't wrestle senior level since. I got hurt every summer after that.
Man, what like looking back over those years with never really being completely healthy, like what did you learn about yourself and maybe what you're capable of?
Well, I mean, I think it also like one obviously I attribute to like the coaching staff and like the medical staff being able to like get me prepared for the season, even when like you can't do what the team my teammates could do. Like I was never on the same page as my teammates. You know, they had a team run, I was on a bike. You know, they had a longer practice, I was done earlier. Like I always had to do like extra stuff because I never did the same amount of stuff that they did. You know, like I had to always. I mean, like I said, I came in. I went in at night for Carver probably, 5 days out of the 7 days a week, every single week for 6 years in college. I was always doing more because I had to, because I wasn't doing the same amount as everyone else. Like I wasn't able to, you know.
Did you ever feel like maybe this is the right word, maybe not, like a disconnect from the team, or like out of no fault of your own, obviously, right? But did it ever feel like, man, these guys are doing this and I'm over here on the bike, or maybe they're wrestling live and I'm making things up here, shadow wrestling or whatever, and it's like, God, I just want to.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a disconnect, but
yeah,
it
maybe
was
that's
more
not
like
the right word.
It was different, Like I just
Yeah.
knew that like I was in a different place,
Yeah.
Like I remember the year that I had two torn ACLs at the national tournament. Like I remember I was in Carver like 9 hours a day. Like I had to do because my knees were swollen. Like when your knees are swollen, you can't wrestle. Like I did not wrestle until the national tournament. I didn't even know if I could, you know. And when I tore my other ACL, my other knee that had been good, I had been coping, hadn't been swollen, haven't given out, started swelling and giving out because I was, I was coping with the other ACL with, my right knee. I was doing more stuff on my right knee again. So it was like, everything was like kind of going downhill because like I wasn't able to do anything. So like I remember I had to be in there so much to like ice it, and rehab it, and then I had to make sure my weight was okay. I had to make sure I was in shape. And then I had to recover. So like I remember like the only disconnect I could possibly say would be like I wasn't, you know, and I think that was the year after COVID too. So like
Yeah.
so I wasn't even practicing at the same time as the team because like they were trying to keep the guys like at different times just so like no one would get sick, because if you get it then like you might not be at nationals. So like it wasn't anything to do like that. So like I was in there more than anyone else, like by far. I mean, when it's taper week, you're peaking some mindset, but like you're doing a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are in there maybe 2 hours a day. I was in there like 9 hours a day, man. Like I didn't even, I live next to Carver, so I would just walk back and forth, and it was miserable almost. I'm in there for an hour and a half for rehab and then an hour and a half working out. And then I go home, I'd sleep, and then I'd go back in and I'd pretty much do similar, like 3 times a day. And so I remember just seeing my teammates kind of like almost not like they were lazing around, but like they were like doing what they short workout, feel good, and then they were going home, mentally getting ready. Where I had to like keep coming back. So that always stunk, but just because like I knew that I was doing so much, but I had to, there was no fault of my teammates. I got hurt, I had to cope with it.
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple of post-match interviews. The one particular, obviously, was, but the other one I wanted to talk about. I noticed it not until the film, right? You got hurt in the Big Ten finals, and I think this was a COVID year, right? And then you're at a microphone and somebody else is far away, and I could just now watching it, seeing the look on your face, I'm like, bro, this guy knew he tore his ACL, and they're asking him all these questions, and you're answering them, but like looking at it now, I can see in your eyes like something's wrong. I
was just pissed off. Like I was so angry, and they're asking me like, because like I remember like and I saw in the film like my answers to like you won your third, you happy? Now there's work to be done. Like in my head, like because like I knew it was torn.
Yeah.
Like and it was just funny because like I was just so mad at the circumstance that had fallen me that I knew that like it was hard for me to like stay calm in an interview sense, like. Because I remember I was walking by Tom and I told him that I tore my ACL, and he looks at me and he's like, you got to give a good interview. Like you need to like calm down. Like he knew that I was like, I was ready to like freak out, And he's like, listen, just be calm, do your thing. He's like, and then we're gonna go check it out. We don't know if it's torn. I'm like, Tom, I'm telling you, it's torn. Like, I know. He's like, we don't know that. I'm like, okay. Like I do the interview, I go back, Doc Westerman, Peterson, they both look at it and they're both like, yeah, we're like 90% sure it's torn. I'm like, I'm 100% sure it's torn. Like we don't even need to MRI it. I know it's torn. Like, well, we have to MRI it so we know if you tore other stuff. I'm like, no. I was like, I don't even want to know. Like, no, we have to. So then I get MRI and the ACL is torn. So on the stick,
Yeah.
But yeah, that interview, I was mad. I definitely like I just tech the guy in the finals, and I was like almost yelling at the
Yeah, no.
interviewee.
I could see, like I said, I could see it in your eyes or in your face, like this something urgent or something like
I was trying to get out of the interview. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
wanted to go see what was wrong.
something else on your mind. Yeah, that's a good way. That's what I was.
Absolutely. I mean,
But
there definitely was. I definitely
so
was.
2 weeks later, right? You win, same deal, but you're at nationals. They put the mic in your face, and they're probably 6 feet back or however far away they are. It's iconic at this point, right? Excuses are for wusses. I'm sure you didn't even think it up or think it would turn into this what it did, but maybe tell me your thought process in that. Why you decided to share that you tore your other ACL, and when did you find out? When did you realize like, oh, this is like viral? This is, people are making a big deal out of this.
Uh, I wasn't originally the plan was to not tell anybody because like that's kind of how we are, pretty secretive.
Yeah,
Um, and I was okay with that. Like I didn't care. Um, my dad's the one that wanted me to say something, just because he's like no one will ever know if you don't say anything.
yeah,
Plus, they'll never believe you.
yeah.
People still don't believe me to this day. Like okay, like I have proof. Like I can send you the MRI results. I could, you can see me, you know,
Yep.
in a chair with both my knees in a brace, both my knees cut open. So they had surgery on something happened. They didn't just cut me for fun. Um, Fortunately, but
Yeah.
yeah, I remember walking by and the plan was not to say anything, and then Tom grabbed me. You can see it if you watch the interview or whatever. Kind of grabs me, my hat falls off, and as I'm leaning down, he's like, "Hey, just tell him what you went through." I'm like, seriously? He's like, tell him, because I was like, okay, like, and I was already all fired up,
Yeah.
from other circumstances, obviously the match, you're like a high, and I'm all mad because I'm like, I'm hurt, and like no one cares, no one knows, like, my teammates, we just had two guys lose, it was frustrating watching them like have two overtime losses, and they were both winning the match, like. I have all these emotions within me. We just won the team title, but like no one's happy about it.
Yeah.
Uh, and then he's like, "Tell him." I'm like, "All right." So that was kind of like instant fire. And then when I knew it was viral or viral, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it,
Yeah.
was when my
Caught
dad texted me
fire.
like, "What the heck did you say?" Because like he was in the arena, so he didn't see the interview. It was on TV. He's like, "Why do I have 100 texts saying like your interview was awesome and like F excuses?" Because my dad thought I dropped the F word,
Uh huh.
because I literally just said F, the
Right.
word letter F, and obviously I was entailing something, right? But like, um, he was like, "What did you do?" Like, he's like, "Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you say that?" Like, because he thought I said F word.
FUCK. Right.
Yeah, like he thought I said that like on ESPN. Like, he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna be in so much." Like, he thought I was like in trouble. I
The
was like, I don't
FCC.
even know what's going. Seriously, I was like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, I was still on the mat, like taking pictures with like Gable and like the other national champs and like whatever. So I had no idea. But then like I opened my phone and like it's just like I like my Instagram, my everything, just like tons of posts of the people reposting it and messaging me. Kind of went everywhere. So it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't post anything about it. You know,
You didn't need to.
so I think. I mean, I don't. That's not really how I am. I'm not
No.
like a cloud chaser or anything.
No, no, but you set the world on fire with that, and just like you got people excited, and clearly I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It took off and spread like wildfire, and it's a moment that people look back at and love, like F excuses for wusses, T-shirts, and probably bumper stickers and whatever. Man, it was great. Um,
It was something.
yeah, no doubt. So kind of back to Austin, and I want to jump to that last year where you lost. One thing I thought was really cool was, Terry's like, you know what, Spencer lost, and obviously it's devastating in the semifinals. He's back in his hotel room. The first person who showed up in his room was Austin, right? And that's what he said. I'm like, man, how cool is that? And I don't even, I don't know if you remember the conversation or kind of how it went, but like, one, I think that's really cool that Austin showed up in your room, and two, like, do you remember kind of how that conversation was or what he said or anything like that?
He was just saying stuff that we always say, like you gotta get the next best thing, like what's next, what's next. That's kind of how we always talk, Just trying to like cheer you up.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I'm sure that's not easy.
no, it definitely wasn't. I don't remember it all that well. That night was kind of a blur. But him and my roommate at the time were the only guys with me at first, and the rest of the team kind of came in because they were still wrestling. But so
Sure. And I guess just looking at the rest of that tournament, I guess what was the reason? Why did you have to withdraw? It was a shame, of course, but yeah, kind of like
yeah, I mean, I was just beat up. You know, I was just like my knees were all beat up. The season really took a toll on me, man. Like definitely the wrestling the whole season was hard on my body. Um, it was to me like I was just already like thinking about the world team trials, like the
mhm.
U.S. Open. Like I was just like knees were swollen. Like I was just like Tom, like what do I do?
Yeah.
Like like I don't know what to do. Like and he was like shrugging with me. It was a tough choice. Like obviously everyone kind of hates me for it. They all think I'm a wuss. I still see people say stuff like, "Oh, he's even gonna finish the tournament." Like whatever, man.
Man, you've been
It
through.
happened. I don't know what you want me to do about it now. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
beat up. I was hurt. Season, whooped my butt. I wrestled every single match from December on. And I was the most hurt guy on the team for Iowa. You know, I wrestled every match for the team. We won like 4 dual meets in a row by like criteria, and I think I pinned like 5 straight guys, 5 straight All Americans, and we won by like criteria on like 4 of those dual meets. So like, I did it for my teammates, and I was beat up. I was feeling it, and it just didn't make sense for me to finish the tournament. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
that was
And
that
so
was
like
it.
at that point, your body's like, I think today is probably better, but excuse me, was pretty beat up at that
Yeah.
point. Was that a similar thing with I think it was the U.S. Open where it's just like, man, the body's just not ready to
I mean,
do
I just
what you
wasn't
want to
recovered,
do.
man. I mean, it was a good, almost a joke. Like I definitely shouldn't have went
Yeah,
to the Open. I just like the thing is like, um, if I don't go, then well, that was it. Like then I'm done till you know basically like the U.S. Open in December. Again
yeah,
or the Farrell like that I compete at. Like so, like to me it was like we were like we gotta try. And
yeah.
it just didn't work out again. I just had you know I needed the 6 months to recover. Surgeries and stuff. I needed so.
Sure.
Sucked. I mean, I'm not a guy who does that. I mean, I won my first world title with 2 cracked ribs, my second world title with a torn labrum. My third world title, I had broken ankle. Like, like I don't care. I won. I wrestled 5 of my 6 years with a torn ACL in college. You know, like I have so many other injuries too, like that aren't as serious. Like torn ligaments and stuff like that. That like but not in serious places. And like people were like, "Oh, well, he's gonna forfeit out of the tournament." That's just not how I am, man. It just those circumstances. That's how it happened. It sucks. I'm sorry for it. I'm a
Yeah.
guy who wants to compete. I love competing. Um, just how it happened. I don't really know. I mean, if you hate me for it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you feel that way. You know.
Well, you're in a position regardless, right? And I don't mean this in a bad way, to be hated. The Yankees are hated. The Patriots are hated. Iowa's hated, right? Like when you're on top, there's going to be a lot of people who say a lot of negative things about you. And I hope you don't, and I know you don't, but don't let that get you down because people are going to,
No,
the
it's all
better you
good, man.
are, the more people are going to, the more haters there are going to be.
Hey, love me or hate me, that's all good.
Yeah, I love
Doesn't
it.
matter to me, man. Do your
Uh,
thing. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna go out there, compete as hard as I can when I'm on the mat. And I'm just grateful to be able to compete. I'm grateful for the University of Iowa for continuing to let me compete in the club and like supporting me. The support from like our new athletic director. Every time I see her, Beth Getz, she's awesome. Our president, Barbara Wilson. Like I mean, just how they treat me. Even though in my mind I failed the university, I wasn't someone who was able to like create history, kind of like Caitlin Clark's doing for the university. To me, like I see her and I'm like, think at least someone could do it. Um, So now she just needs to get that one national title. We need her to finish it strong.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I'm just grateful that they're able to let me continue chasing my dreams, even though I wasn't someone who was able to finish it strong. So.
Well, I'm sure that they're not. Don't be too hard on yourself. But what I want to get
Well,
at,
I mean,
it's
come on, I'm
fair.
the ultimate competitor. We want to win everything.
That is very true, and that's part of the reason you're at where you're at. But like today, we talk about 5 or 6 years not like healthy, like heading into Olympic trials 2024. When's the last time you were this healthy?
Sophomore year of high school,
God,
for sure.
I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah, because my junior year I missed the entire season because I had my torn labrum. I won junior worlds and had surgery the week after junior worlds, and I missed all the way until March, or I guess February, late February. I wrestled 12 matches my junior year of high school, and then that summer was obviously next year was junior worlds. I went to the Rio, all that stuff. So, or that was the year I was torn. The next year I was, went high school season and then college,
Yeah.
for ACL. So
I mean, does that give you confidence knowing that, like, hey, I'm back to, I guess full strength. I don't know that, only you know that, but hey, I haven't been this healthy since whenever, and I've been had a lot of success in between.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice to know that I'm able to I feel like a teammate again. Like we have team runs. I started running for the first time in 6 years. You
Jeez.
know, um, like I can do things with them. I'm not like the. It's not like, oh, everyone on the line. All right, Spencer on the bike. That was
Yeah.
like how it always was. Like they weren't gonna make me run and turn and cut. I was gonna fall on my face. I did it one time. I ran, turned, and fell on my face, like my knee buckled, and they were like, "You're not running anymore, Spencer. You're dumb. We told you not to." I was like, "I'm good. I can do it."
Yeah.
Coaches know, they know better. They know better than I did for sure at that time. I definitely messed up. Because like I said, I was good at coping. My knee was fine. I felt fine, but gives out. Don't be doing that again. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely feel some confidence. I feel good about it. I just feel like I feel like it to me like it feels good. Like I'm getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Nice that I'm 25 and I just feel like my career is just starting. You know,
Yeah.
seriously, I haven't wrestled freestyle since obviously I was at 2019 Open. I won
Dominating.
in 19, but the last time I wrestled freestyle was 2016 Junior Worlds.
That's wild. Was that in France?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
crazy is that?
Extremely, extremely crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude. Like I don't even feel like a freestyle wrestler when originally I'm not even a folk style guy. Everyone always talks about my top game in folk style, but I don't even like. My preferred style is freestyle. I didn't even want to wrestle folk style, but that's the college style. I had to,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty crazy. Um,
Yeah.
okay. I want to talk about a couple other things. First of all, is the Lady Hawks, the women's team. I saw you out in Cedar Rapids last weekend. I saw you had a couple of their dual meets too. So I guess for anybody who doesn't know, Flo's kind of did a series with them throughout the season, followed them, and if for those who don't know, it couldn't have ended in a more dramatic fashion. Like,
It's true.
explain to me being at the Nationals and watching it, and then if you even understood the scenarios of, because there's a team North Central who's the defending national champions, had a big lead going in the finals. Did you know? Okay, Iowa's got to win this many, or North Central's got to lose this many.
I kind of knew that we had to win out. I mean, I was there with my family, so like my dad wanted to watch, so I went with him, and um, obviously I've known Coach Chun since I was like 12. First time I went to the Olympic Training Center
Yeah,
was like in 2012, and she was an athlete competing for the Olympics that year. So I met her there, and she was super kind to me when I was at the train. I mean, I was so young; people looked at me like, "Why are you even here?" And she was like someone who kind of took me under her wing, like showed me around the Olympic Training Center, like helped me out. So like I've known her for a long time, so always want to support her and obviously the university, of course. I mean,
yeah,
I watch. I mean, we each had a national champion in the 800 meter and track and field. I watch everything the University of Iowa does. I mean, I'm a Hawkeye, blue, black, and gold, so I like to see athletes be successful. So I was there. It was fun. I know that it came down to the last match for Iowa to win, and the girl that our wrestler was wrestling was a defending 3-time national champ, going for her fourth. So, but I mean, our girl had beaten her in the year multiple times. So, I mean, our girl was the favorite, Kylie Walker, and she needed to just win for us to um, win clinch the team title in the last dual meet. It was the last match. They started at heavyweight, which is 191. Was that her weight? It was the last weight, and I think it was like 168 her weight class, maybe in college. 170, I don't know. And 170, I think it's 168 for the Olympic weight, but
Oh yeah.
170 for college. 76 kilos, right?
Yep.
She ended up tech flying the girl. She had no idea. You know that Kylie had no clue that it was for her to win.
Yeah,
She was like doing her own thing.
well, she said, she's like, I didn't know the scenario, so I was
Oh.
trying to pin her because I didn't know. I thought maybe I needed the pin.
She had
downs.
that. Yeah, she had that arm throw or hip toss or whatever she hit.
Yeah, she had her on her
Trying to
back for a
pin her.
long while too.
Yeah, I had her for like a minute and a half. Didn't pin her.
Yeah, which is pretty rare in freestyle. Usually, if
Yeah, I
you're
know.
on
You
the
just got
back,
to touch and they
yeah,
yeah, they call it quick.
done.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, that's first year, first program. It's awesome for the university. I think NCAA is going to sanction it, so 2025 or 2026 it'll officially be NCAA tournament. So
Yeah, that'd be
that'd
awesome.
be awesome.
Super
Yeah,
cool.
grow wrestling, man. It's all about growing wrestling.
Absolutely. Um, so that's the women's nationals. Are you going to get a chance to go to Kansas City, or are you going to be stayed locked in training at home?
No,
for the
I'll be
men's?
there. I'll be there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I won't go to all of nationals just because like I'm training. You know,
yeah.
priority is myself. College guys know that, but I'll be there Friday, Saturday, probably Friday night session Saturday.
And
I
aside from
support
watching the
those guys, man.
Hawks, what's it like for you? I mean, you're a celebrity in this building for sure, right? You're like, you're Michael Jordan. You're like, can you sit down and watch it and enjoy it, or are you getting kids coming up to you
At
nonstop?
NCAAs,
Yeah, they want photos and autographs, which I understand.
no, I definitely. Luckily, we have like a, like kind of like a
Suite.
room, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, a suite. So I'll probably be in there, but I'll gladly take any photos or pictures anyone wants with me.
yeah,
They see me, I'll never say no. But I'm watching my teammates wrestle. I want to watch them.
sure.
You know, it's not cool. Like I mean, even when I'm in Carver, like I remember one time I was like sitting on the bench, which I definitely shouldn't be because I'm not in college. But I was just sitting there because I was trying to stay away from people. I didn't want to be in the stands. And people would just come out down the arena and they would tap me on the shoulder and take a picture with me. So they were like kind of annoying my bench who was getting ready to compete. You know, and then I'm like turning back and forth and I'm missing the match. Like I was like, dang man, like I remember Caliendo, he had like a boots, like a dirty boot scoot. Like our team went crazy and I missed it because I'm taking a picture facing the other way and I'm like, no, like I want to see it, you know. So you know, I'm a big fan of all my teammates, so I like seeing them do pretty cool stuff. So it's not like it's a bad thing, but yeah, I definitely just want to watch when they're up, you know.
Yep,
So
understandably, totally.
yeah,
Okay. Oh, actually, one other thing I want to ask you is, obviously, Gilman's a long time with the Hawkeyes, right? And he went a few years ago. But you know, you guys went when you were there. There's clearly like, hey, we're two of the best guys in the country. We're in the same room. How was that situation? Was it awkward? Was it okay? Was there underlying tension? Like, I don't know,
no, not
from your
really. I mean,
perspective.
the thing that was hard was that we were just in two very different situations. Like like I said, I didn't do any freestyle.
Yeah.
So like we weren't really competitors at all.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go to a single tournament that he went to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
while I was in college, and then when you're in college, like you know, you're the priority because like you know Tom and Terry are the college coaches,
Right.
and then the Hawk Wrestling Club coach at that time I think was Mark Perry. So his priority was Gilman. So like
Right.
that's who's coaching Gilman, right? So like just like Dennis is my coach. And
Yeah.
Tom and Terry, and they still coach us, of course, and they run the practice. They do everything, right? Tom and Terry, you know how they are.
Yep.
But like, you know, priority is the college guys right now. This is national time, tournament time, so they got to get the guys ready. So like me and him, it was just different. Like we just had different training schedules. Like you know, like we had different partners, and like coaches would pick me a different partner. You know, we just didn't go that often. Like the problem was like he would always ask me to go like the day after I would compete, which is like a day off for me. So like then we weren't able to go. Just because for him like that was a good day to go. Like our schedules just never matched. I mean we wrestled a lot. I mean I think we drilled more than we went live. But because we always like working on stuff. You know he's a student of the sport. You know he watched a lot of wrestling. So we always work positions together. You know, but we didn't go that hard that much because like I compete every week. He doesn't. You know, so like it was just hard. Like just like now like I don't compete every week.
Yeah.
And these guys do. Like, I'm not going to ask, Ayala to go live with me on Thursday when he competes Friday. Like, I'm going to make sure he's got what he needs to get ready. Like, if he needs to drill with me, I'll drill with him. But, like, if I need to go live, I got to grab someone else. Like, the priorities were different. So I don't think it was really that awkward. We were just in different places.
That makes sense.
I mean, I'm sure people think yeah, two guys, same weight class, he's a world champ, Olympic bronze. I mean, obviously he's really good. So, of course, me and him are going to have some, like, tension,
Right.
That's just but that's I mean, come on. Who's not going to have that? You're going to have that in any room if you're the same weight class and both of you are, good athletes on the world level. So, but like it wasn't like bad. Like we would always make jokes about it. Like I mean, me and Gilman were cool. I mean, we weren't like best friends. Like we didn't hang out every day, But I don't really hang out with anyone. I'm a loner, Like I chill. I play video games, different hobbies. So
Yeah.
I think we were fine when he was here. I had no problem.
Sure. To the point of the different styles, like you mentioned, and I knew this, right? But you like freestyle better, do you also not just the style on the mat? Do you prefer the broader sense of like wrestle 4 times a year, 6 times a year instead of every single week?
I mean, I do think the college season might be a little bit too long.
Yeah.
I think that October to March is a bit ridiculous for making weight every week.
Yeah.
I think that's probably another reason why 125 is so crazy, is because we're grown men wrestling at 125 pounds every single week.
It's crazy.
Like, you'll see guys look really good one week, and then the next week they just look like they're struggling, and that's because we got to make weight. Like, we're grown men making 125. Like, it's not an easy weight class for anyone to make, unless you're really small. Like, when I was a freshman in college, it was very easy for me to make. I barely weighed that much.
Mm-hmm.
So like, unless you're like little, then it's it's pretty hard for everyone to make consistently. So I think that's another reason why that's really hard. So I mean, it is nice, but you also have to be really dedicated, because like if you can get pretty big, then you gotta make weight, then you're gonna struggle with that tournament. So it's the same kind of dedication, but like it's almost easier in college because like you're making it so much, your body just shrinks. Like you just get smaller. You have to.
Yep.
It's impossible to just yo-yo your weight every week. You're gonna see the fluctuations of competitiveness go down, right? You're gonna see the number one guy lose 5 weeks in a row. So I'm not saying they're not dedicated. I'm just saying it's a hard weight class to do, and college is a long season.
Yep. Yeah, for
I
sure.
get hurt and stuff. So I wish they would shorten it a little bit. Even if it was December to March.
Well, I feel like a lot of people in 2021, that abbreviated season, which I think started in January, I remember everybody being like, "This is great." We love all the
like
college
15 matches.
Yeah,
but it was like
4 months.
It was like
2 months?
6 dual meets. Then it was Big Ten's nationals. Like, that was like it. Like 14. I think I was 14 matches.
Yeah, I heard a lot of feedback from people that they liked it.
It's not like the era of my coaches where they had, like, I think Tom Brand's a senior year. I think he went 50-0. That's crazy. That's half of my matches in college.
Pretty wild.
Nuts. Yeah, that's nuts.
So yeah, next thing for you is Olympic trials, right? Competition wise.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man, it's got to feel like a long time coming.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I qualified for the 2016 Olympic trials, but I was in high school. So, and I was coming off injury, so shoulder surgery, so I didn't go. Not that I would have made the team or anything. I wrestled with Dennis a lot. I know plenty of well where I was at the time.
Right.
Dennis is good, very good. And then 2020, obviously, I was qualified, but I couldn't go. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried, man. After the NCAA tournament in that season, man, my knees were so bad, and I probably should have had surgery then. But like, I was so good with one torn ACL. I thought if I like did 6 months of rehab and like able to cope with it. But then I wrestled I think I wrestled those duels, and my knees just they were like done. Yeah, I just didn't. I mean, I had surgery, missed the season, so. It was tough. I mean, no regrets. I mean, I made the choice to not have it after that tournament because I tried to go to the trials. I really did. I couldn't even get on the mat. I remember trying to drill like 3 days after, and I'm pretty sure the Olympic trials were like April 4th, and the NCAA tournament was like the 22nd or something, the last day. So I had like 12 days. I remember I took like 3 days off. I went to drill and both my knees just gave out like first minute of me drilling. I'm like sitting there like there's no way, because then when your knees give out, your knees swell, then you got to take time off. So it's like I would have had to take another day off, and then by that time it's like you got 7 days till the trials. You leave 3 days before, then you got 4 days,
Yeah.
of actual training. Like it just didn't. I just couldn't. I mean, maybe I should have gone and just seen how I did. I don't know, but would have been no training, no working out, no freestyle, nothing, not until the trials. And then me thinking like, how is it gonna go?
Wild.
It was stupid, man. So stupid.
So
They had the trials like the 20th, like of April, I would have gone, but it was just too soon. Like just college season too soon, man. That's one thing that sucks. They never, USA Wrestling doesn't look at the college season. They don't care. So that sucked.
it'd be nice, a little bit more space in there.
I needed it, man. I didn't. I mean, yeah. I mean, I felt pretty good 2 weeks after. That's why I decided not to have surgery. But
Crazy.
well, now we're here. 4 years later. Time flies.
It really does. It feels like yesterday.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Feels like yesterday. I was just talking with somebody about that today, but here, yeah, like you said, here we are, ready to rock.
Yep. Live in the present, man.
That's good advice. Yeah, Spencer. I think we're down to the end of the line, man. Just
Awesome.
excited. I speak for a lot of people that we're excited to see a healthy version back out there chasing your dreams. Appreciate you spending some time with us today, chatting. Appreciate you,
Sure.
working with us to do this film. I think big reception from a lot of people, so seemed like they loved it.
I hope they liked it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to leave you with the final word, though, to say anything you want to say about anything.
I like the Hockey Wrestling Club challenge cubes in the background. Those are cool.
Thank you. I don't know where we got them, but probably from you
Hockey
guys.
Wrestling Club, baby.
Yeah. Did it start in 73? Is that what the 73 is?
Yep, 1973. Dan Gable started it.
Oh, duh.
Right after he won the 72 Olympics.
Yep. Awesome. Sweet.
Crazy guy.
Yes, he is. Cool.
In a good way, of course. We're
Absolutely.
all crazy. Wrestlers are all crazy. It's not a bad thing.
No, I love it.
Thanks for having me, Vader. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet, man. Have a great day, Spence. Thanks a lot. We'll see
You
you.
too, man. I'll see you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, folks, that's going to do it. The man himself, Spencer Lee, spent some time with us. He's finally healthy, finally ready to rock, and we will see him at the Olympic trials April 19th and 20th, I believe. So that's going to do it for today's show. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.